We were touring following the championships in '82. We were on a European tour with all the medalists, and we went to Russia, which is our first trip there. And in Moscow, some people could go to the ballet and some people could go to the circus. And I wanted to go to the ballet to see the Bolshoi. And Chris said, oh, I want to go to the circus. And I thought, well, that's strange. I would have thought he'd prefer the ballet. But he'd already got an idea in his head.
There's a great history and tradition of circus within Russia. As you walked into this building, being bombarded with all these sights and sounds, which turned into ideas as well of possibly trying to put this on ice.
I thought, yeah, this could be really good, and it was different from the musical, you know, Mike and Mabel, and it was just a different thing altogether.
This is a week after the World Championships.
Yeah, we're already planning the next season.
That's how quick we had to turn it around.
Yes. For once, we had a theme of what we wanted to do, but we didn't have the music. Courtney Jones told us that Barnum was playing in the West End, so off we went the next chance we could. And by chance, Michael Crawford peeked through the curtain at the beginning of the show, and he recognised us and got someone to bring us backstage. He said, oh, so what are you doing next? And we just spilled out our whole idea of the circus and the problem with the music. And he said, oh, I'd really like to help you.
Together with his agent and the musical director, they gave some time, and Mike Reed took the highlights within the show and put it together in an orchestration.
And then we came back to England for our national championships. That was the first time it was shown. We realised, you know, how much media attention was on us, and we used that to our advantage in keeping it a secret so that there will be even more attention, you know, to know what we were going to do.
We weren't good press people. We weren't good talkers, and we didn't communicate with them a lot. I mean, what we did was on the ice, and that's where we were best at.
Have you got a message for all those people who persist in asking you about your personal relationship?
Just good friends. In a way, it was kind of a romantic image, being successful at what we do and this successful life off the ice.
You seem inseparable on and off the ice.
We get on quite well together.
She's okay. People like this, you know, it's like when you go to the movies and you'd watch Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, and the end of the movie when everything was happy and finished on a high note, everybody went away happy, believing that they went to their little house somewhere and were a happy little couple. But, you know, they have a life outside of that, indeed, as we did. But we didn't, you know, the studios never, they didn't give any information about their private lives necessarily because they wanted to foster the image. We weren't that manipulative. It just developed that way.
The British people were following our every move by then because it was all leading up to the Olympics in '84, and they liked the success that we'd come from nowhere, you know, and started to achieve success. And we were still sort of thought of as, you know, Nottingham people too, and which we liked that. After Christmas time, we went back to Germany to train, because the Europeans were sort of in January. And we had a bad fall.
But it's the ice rink where all the attention has been this week, with the world champions, Torvill and Dean, secretly preparing for this year's European Championships in Dortmund. Only a trained eye would have spotted something was wrong as the couple kept training down to the basics. All week, Jane Torvill has been battling against injury, and after talking to the local doctor and coach, Betty Calloway, came the stunning news. It was decided she wasn't fit enough.
We're actually trying a new lift that we wanted to put in our free program, and I was in the air about so high, and Chris fell over from the force of the lift, and so he wasn't there when I landed, and I landed straight onto my back, actually, and that was the most pain. But after I'd sort of hauled off the ice a little bit, I realised that my arm was hurting me, and in fact that was the most serious injury. We began training slowly again, and as soon as I felt I could use my arm, we in fact did too much training because we wanted to catch up from the days we'd missed. And in doing too much training, I forced it back and even made it a little bit worse.
Were you tempted at all to risk it and go for the Europeans?
The routines are so difficult that we have to spend so much time doing it. And anything less than 100%, then really we can't afford to go.
To not go to the Worlds as European champion, you didn't know what to expect.